Over the years, this map has turned very, very green. We're extremely proud of the work that Burning Man participants, mainly, and our teams have done. This is the crew. Now I'm going to talk about our highway cleanup crew, because this seems to be a hot topic. DA also runs this operation. This is the work that they do. After the event, making sure almost all vehicles have left, this team drives the roads leading into Black Rock City and stops to pick up trash and debris. They clean up trash and debris accidentally dropped from Burning Man vehicles, but trash in many areas does not appear to be from burners. Our team picks up trash and debris from year-round residents, tourists, property owners, businesses, truck drivers, ranchers, nature lovers, and law enforcement as well. They pick up huge amounts of trash left behind on tribal lands and NDOT easements by permitted trash collection operators who abandon their sites. This is one that we were called to help because the tribally permitted operator had set up a dumpster which attracted people to come bring their trash. The operator collected money and then left. And so we dispatched our team immediately and picked all this up. This is the territory that they cover every year. I'm not aware of any other special event or community that does this level of work. They go above and beyond any reasonable measure or expectation, and I think we should celebrate their work and appreciate the standard they set. This is our Leave Nevada Beautiful campaign that we started a few years ago, again by DA. We create a hang tag for every vehicle entering Black Rock City. We work with all of the businesses listed on this hang tag so that they can provide their services to burners, and burners can do the right thing by taking their trash and recycling and their RV dumping to all these businesses who make a very nice income during Burning Man from our cooperative work with them. Two of the businesses in particular, Whole Foods and Love's, take the proceeds from these operations and donate them to local charities. BLM's dumpsters would harm this business. We do everything we can to minimize our impacts from Burning Man and to make sure that they're temporary. We have demonstrated a high level of conscientiousness in our environmental stewardship and our responsiveness to community problems when they're brought to our attention, when we notice them, when our community lets us know. We love and respect the National Conservation Area. We consider the Black Rock Desert our home, and we want to do everything that we can to ensure not only Burning Man's enjoyment of the area, but year-round visitors' enjoyment and their right to these public lands and their access to these public lands. Here are some operations other than Burning Man on BLM land. Operations that leave a bigger, more permanent trace. Each year, we learn and we level up. We evolve our operations, and our culture lets us know when we're doing a good job or a bad job. And we always want to improve. I've brought our leadership from our operations department so you can have direct conversations with them and share your ideas or your concerns and hear from them so that you can understand they really are here to address what might be wrong in your community or hear from you what we might be doing well. Here are a few ways that we can further improve in the future. We have proposed in our proposed action to expand our environmental educational playa and to understand as the Burning Man population has shifted over the years from more tent living to increased RV use and trailer use. We've done an excellent job managing traffic, working with our agency partners to understand those patterns and pull some different levers in terms of gate opening times and expanding our Burner Express bus and air programs and encouraging carpooling by limiting absolutely our number of vehicle passes. And so we have shifted a lot of our focus over these recent few years to helping people understand and how to live better on the playa in the National Conservation Area in a rented or owned RV so that we can make sure that we prevent those kinds of drips onto the playa surface. I spoke to you earlier about our highway cleanup crew, and 2 years ago there were several accidents along Highway 447. It was an anomaly of a year, and we heard from residents from the tribe and from Gerlach and the surrounding areas that those accidents had stayed there for up to 2 or 3 weeks. And we realized that the work that we had done with the tribe and NDOT, we had not coordinated post-event. And so we spent the next year working on our processes and our communication, and last year we did not see any of this sort of delay in our response to be able to assist NDOT or the tribe in any accidents that might have dispersed trash. We've also seen trends the past couple of years around motorized bicycles and electric bicycles and electric conveyances, and some of those folks aren't seeing our 5-mile-per-hour speed limit as applying to them, so we have really stepped up our education enforcement on that. Years ago, we learned that Gerlach was being impacted by crowds in a different way as our population had grown, and we initiated a program through the rangers, and again, our head ranger is here if you want to talk to him about it, so that we had a whole team of rangers who normally are only on playa staying in Gerlach for the duration of the event arrival, the event itself, and post-event, so that we could be on site to help with anything that might happen, any concerns that arose. So I'm just wanting to bring these to you to illustrate our commitment, our adaptability, and that we really want to do better when we have a real problem identified. We have some very serious concerns with the draft EIS. I know that earlier Mark Hall suggested that the mitigations were suggested talking points. That section of the EIS didn't say suggested talking points, and so we are really taking these very seriously. And when you read through those mitigations, a picture emerges, a picture that's very different probably from your actual experience of Burning Man. I want you to take a look at this list. These are part of the mitigations that BLM has recommended for the Burning Man event, including concrete or plastic barriers around our 9-mile perimeter, banning BLM selected sources of light, dumpsters for 80,000 people, if we stay at 80,000 people, along Gate Road and in the city, BLM security searches, surveillance of our employees while they build the city and do playa restoration, additional permits. We have concerns about your constitutional rights as well as ours. Concerns that BLM has suggested in many of the areas that we take on responsibility for educating the public about public lands. And on the flip side, they have proposed that they take over or direct supervision of our operations. We have concerns about the night skies study, the migratory bird study, our ability to control dust storms, a requirement that we pay for public road maintenance, and a bond that would be required in case someone else does something in the National Conservation Area related to Burning Man. I want to pause for a moment on the pay for public road maintenance, because I think that we need to explain that we are excellent partners with Washoe County and consider them to be key stakeholders, of course, in Burning Man. And behind the scenes, have been working with them for 5 years to study County Road 34, understand what condition it's in, understand that it was designed and built in the early and mid 70s to have a 30 to 40 year lifespan, understand the traffic patterns, and understand that maintenance isn't really the answer right now. We've been working with them to find a permanent solution to replace the road. And we feel like we might have identified something. We're very enthusiastic, and I just feel it's important that you know that we do things behind the scenes that might not be evident to you, and I don't want you to think us bad neighbors or members of the Nevada community, because you might not be familiar with the work that we're doing in the long term. It's a pretty heavy lift to replace a road like that. So I want to discuss one of these in detail, and I'm going to try to read through this quickly because it's a lot of information. We decided to take a look at the K-rail, so 9 miles of concrete or plastic barriers around our perimeter. This example is indicative of what we see in other mitigations, which is a lack of consideration of our history as a baseline for the study, a lack of recognition for our operational realities, a lack of supporting data, and worsened downstream impacts on the environment. This proposal for dumpsters, we feel, is not supported by the EIS analysis. It is logistically incredibly problematic, environmentally irresponsible, unnecessarily redundant, prohibitively expensive, and a clear demonstration that the proposed mitigation was not sufficiently thought through. Burning Man project currently installs a 9-mile orange trash fence around the event site, which serves as our visual perimeter and is heavily monitored and patrolled by the Black Rock City Gate Perimeter and Exodus Department 24 hours a day, using sophisticated radar, night vision, and patrol intercept trucks in coordination with BLM rangers. This type of fencing allows wind to blow through and not make dunes, but also catches matter out of place. BLM's barrier mitigation would dramatically increase the Burning Man event's carbon footprint and create unprecedented environmental impacts on the playa surface itself. The barrier would create a massive 10-mile long set of dunes that would eclipse by huge margins any past dunes and need to be remediated with heavy equipment if it could be remediated. The impact of the playa surface created by 1,900 separate 10-ton loads and heavy equipment to load and unload could create a new problem to solve. Increased fuel consumption, greenhouse gas atmospheric emissions, and damage to county and state roads are all results that would negatively impact the environment of northern Nevada. Our closure area is monitored by radar capable of detecting the shape signature of anything larger than a jackrabbit, both within the perimeter fence and for several miles outside or approaching the perimeter fence. We have the ability to pinpoint any human being from several miles away and can radio an intercept vehicle instantly to the exact location. It's a remarkably efficient system and extremely difficult for a person or vehicle to breach the trash fence undetected. And no life-threatening event or even an almost occurred injury has ever occurred because someone has come through the trash fence. In order to build a 9-mile long wall of barriers, it would require the purchase, transportation, placement, strike, return transportation, and storage of 4,752 barrier lengths weighing 19 million pounds total. It would cost over $5.5 million each year, if we could even get them in Nevada. This single proposed idea presents millions of dollars in unnecessary costs and an impossible timeline. All of this in service of what we see as an imagined problem that is currently being more than effectively mitigated at an astronomical fraction of the time and cost. That's just one. in this list. Again, I hope you'll ask about these things during the Q&A or when you come visit us. I want to make one thing perfectly clear. This is the front page of our EIS, indicating that BLM's costs are $280,000. We pay for every penny, every minute of their time, every mile they drive, every hotel room, every meeting that we have. We pay for that. I just want to be clear because some people have questioned whether we're reimbursing BLM. I don't know if they're here tonight, but we are reimbursing BLM. BLM has laid out a vision. BLM envisions you under surveillance in Black Rock City, surrounded not by scenic landscape, but by impenetrable concrete barriers, where dumpsters replace goodwill, where your actions are monitored by police and security guards, waiting for you to make a mistake or break the law, where you are greeted by a constitutional violation. Our vision is different. We see Black Rock City as an imperfect but magnificent cultural epicenter, characterized by kindness and generosity, creativity, self-expression, and humor, by truth and beauty. We see our extensive operations are not only capable, but proven. We see Black Rock City as a place where people come together to celebrate the human spirit and celebrate our public lands. Thanks.
Definitely, let's get that out of the way. What we'll do for the next half hour or so is take open